Thank you very much. I have questions of staff regarding the quarterly capital budget adjustments and closeouts, please. You may recall that I had questions the last quarter when we were here. Again, the overarching question is, given the operating capital budget and contingencies contained therein, why is it necessary to be coming back? This time it's just 1.4 million. I think it was 4.6 million last quarter. Why are we coming back and adding these as budget overages rather than reconciling them within contingency?
Councillor, through the chair, the increases of the capital plan happen really at any point. We could do that, but generally we've kind of done it on a quarterly basis. And what that happens is after we've set the capital plan, sometimes we have additional revenue that comes in. It could be funds like from the third parties or senior levels of government, and so we adjust the plan to reflect those increases. Other ones that we've seen in the past have been on the engineering side, where we get developers or residents for them to do their water and sewer connections, and so there's additional revenue that comes in that we wouldn't necessarily have put into the capital plan. So that's what we've been doing through when we set up the quarterly adjustments, was to allow that to come into the capital plan as new work, but new funding sources.
Well, I understand that what you're saying is that you are using our capital from the city to trigger external revenue sources through other levels of government, organizations like TransLink. What I'm getting, it's still increasing the budget and the capital cost to Vancouverites, to taxpayers, whether that's coming from property taxes or whatever revenue sources it is coming from. It is coming from the city. It's great that it's generating some other revenue, but that's not answering my question. My question, just to be clear, is why are we unable to reconcile that within contingency? I'm not disputing the fact, as Mr. Dobrovony talked about last time when we talked about additional revenue sources being attracted, but it's being attracted by additional money from our budget.
Okay.
And so that's what I'm getting at. Why are we not able to find that money within contingency rather than going back to the well, so to speak?
I think when projects come forward, there is an opportunity for us to look, would this project maybe displace a different project that has a lower priority? And we do look at that. In some cases, the funding source is not the same. So in the case of, I think one of these is for the theatre, they have their own reserve for facilities. And so if we're doing a facility piece of work on the theatre, then we would use that reserve. And that maybe wasn't contemplated at the time that the capital plan happened. If it is using other sources, then we do look at whether the priority would be to do one project over another. And sometimes you'll see those as reallocation. So there is a mix of all of those in the report.
Well, that being the case, that when we have other future quarterlies, then we could expect that there may be a reduction or a deficit position instead of coming back and asking for additional capital. That we could say, hey, we came out
just stick to this one, I think.
Just
stick to this report.
Yes.
Okay. Well, so this report, you're looking for additional capital to trigger additional external funding from the budget, and that's your answer.
Yes.
Okay.
And we have prioritized a number of funds within the existing capital plan as well. So there's sort of two different adjustments that come through.
I just want to be clear. There's no new debt and there's no new tax dollars in this report. What we're doing is if someone comes in to get a sewer connection and engineering is going to go do that sewer connection, we add that into quarterly, and there's a bunch of those that get added. Or this theater says they want to do the LED lights now and they're ready to do that. We go to their reserve and it gets added to the capital plan. That's not new tax dollars being taxed, and that's not new debt that we're adding to the capital plan. We're expanding the capital plan when new dollars come into it. And there are times, as Patrice had said, where we might have a new project that's a higher priority than an existing project, and that would be a reallocation. That doesn't put us into a deficit position. What it does is it reallocates from one project to another.
I understand that, but it does specifically say an increase to the capital plan.
That's right. We're increasing the capital plan. We're not increasing the debt that we're taking on, and we're not increasing the amount that we're taxing people. We have an amount that we plan to spend, and then sometimes we add to that amount that we plan to spend because we have new dollars, either out of a reserve or because someone wants us to connect their sewer, so they're paying us to do it. These are new dollars that are coming into the capital plan.
Okay, we're at our 5 minutes.
I understand.
So,
We're at this-
thank you very much.
Something I'd appreciate a more fulsome discussion around in the future.
Okay,